The following is an episode of the Grassroots Freedom Initiative Podcast. This episode is the audio from videos released on our YouTube and Rumble channels. There may be times in this episode when we refer to information displayed on the screen that is impossible to provide in podcast format. However, links to the video version of this episode, as well as links to sources mentioned in this episode, can be found in this episode's show notes. Now, the Grassroots Freedom Initiative Podcast. There are 3 Ohio Republican legislators who are pushing a bill to have us give the state more biometric information by which to track and control us. It's a bill to allow for digital driver's licenses and digital state IDs, and the legislation could allow these digital IDs to be used to vote. It's baked into the bill, and the proposed amendment we've seen does nothing to fix this problem. You heard that right. At a time when President Trump is pushing states to move to paper ballots and hand counts for our elections, Republican Ohio House member Thomas Hall is a sponsor of the bill, House Bill 78, or HB 78, titled Authorized Use of a Digital Driver's License or State ID Card. Hall is a sponsor of this calamity, along with Democrat Joe Miller. Co-sponsors of the bill are Republicans Gary Click and Josh Williams. There are 5 other co-sponsors, all Democrats, including Allison Russo, the House Minority Leader. There are few bills sponsored by a Republican like Hall that have more Democrats signed on to them than Republicans. HB 78 needs to die in committee this week. It's dangerous. What's the rush? It shouldn't be amended. It should be completely rewritten. The risk here is too high. And it sure looks like the Republicans running this bill either haven't read it or don't understand it. Leaving nothing to chance, we ran the bill through AI. Here's part of the long response. The question asked was, can someone use the digital ID to vote? The response? Yes. HB 78 allows for the use of a digital driver's license or state identification card as a valid form of photo identification. Since Ohio law already requires voters to present an acceptable form of photo ID when voting, and HB 78 explicitly includes digital IDs in the definition of photo identification, it appears that digital IDs would be allowed for voting once the bill is enacted. Key considerations. Photo ID requirement. The bill amends Section 3501.01, which covers election laws, and it defines photo identification to include a digital license or ID. Validation process. A digital ID must be verified and valid, meaning it cannot be expired, revoked, or suspended for it to be accepted. Limited access. The bill ensures that only the identity information, name, photo, address, etc., is accessible when presenting a digital ID. Election officials would not be able to access other data on the device. Implementation details. The Ohio Secretary of State and local boards of elections would likely provide guidance on how election officials can verify and accept digital IDs at polling places. Conclusion. If HB 78 is enacted, Ohio voters should be able to use a digital ID to vote, provided that the state's election procedures are updated to allow poll workers to verify digital identification. However, additional implementation rules may be established by the Ohio Secretary of State. There is a link to the complete response in the show notes, or goodies, as we call them on social media. It is unbelievable to us that 3 Republicans would team up with 6 Democrats to push a bill potentially impacting our elections negatively when they did almost nothing in the last General Assembly to fix the gaping security holes in Ohio's election system, that we covered in detail in a prior video titled Ohio's Election Integrity Truth Bomb. A link to it is in the show notes or goodies. You may be seeing calls to action from the election integrity movement in Ohio as soon as later today. Things like calling, emailing, or texting your representatives, going to see them, and providing testimony opposing this disaster. If asked, please act on these calls to action. We believe the integrity of Ohio's elections far, far outweighs the possible convenience of a digital driver's license. HB 78 must be stopped. Thank you. This video is brought to you by the Grassroots Freedom Initiative, or GFI for short. If you're not already on our email and text lists, please be sure to join our network of thousands of Ohioans. It's easy, free, and we won't ask you for money. Visit gfiohio.com and click the Join Us button in the upper right-hand corner of any page, or text GFI to 66866 and follow the prompts. And please be sure to find and follow us on YouTube and Rumble. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give us a like to be made aware when we post new content. Thanks for watching. Please remember to stay informed and get engaged.